And I think we're live. Good morning. How are we doing? Sorry I'm late. Had a few audio issues with the stream this morning. OBS decided to forget all of my inputs and outputs, and I was getting no sound from anywhere, which is always good fun. Always good fun. Anyway, where are we? We are in Brisbane. Let me zoom out a little bit. Give a little look around. Brisbane Airport, albeit the jetways decided to not attach to us, but that's fine. And we're heading down to Sydney today. Flight time, they think, is about 1 hour 45. And we're doing a cold and dark. Just because, well, yeah, just because. No real reason other than we want to. We got a little bit of time today, so why not do it? So first things first. First things first. Let's check our parking brake is set. Yes, it is. Our engine positions are in off. We are in idle. Nice. So, just quickly walk you through what we do. Let's get up to our overhead panel. Now we do have ground power available, which is always good. So what we'll do is we'll put our batteries on, first of all, and we will take the external power because it's there, so we might as well use it. You can hear the plane coming to life. Right, nav and logo lights on. APU master switch on. Give it a second. Then we're going to do APU start. But we have to be patient. We have to wait for this to say available. Let's check our sim brief flight plan while we're at it. It says we need 5,745 kilograms of fuel. 5,745. Let's get the plane refueled. Nice. Why does it all say NA ask? We haven't put in ask. There we go. Right. Hey, we've got available. That is good. So now if we do APU bleed. That should fire up the APU for us. The APU is this little engine here on the back. Provides us with power for the other systems on the plane. Oops, sorry, that's just me hitting my mic. Ignore that. Right, let's get the nav on. 1, 2, 3. This will take a few minutes to come on because the plane has to align itself, and the further away you are from the equator, I believe, the longer it takes. So being in Australia, it might take a minute. Okay. Fuel pumps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oxygen for the crew. I always forget where that is. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Got there in the end. Okay, we're looking for white lights up and down the panel. So I usually start by working my way down this panel. No white lights. No white lights, no white lights, no white lights, no white lights. Ignore those fault lights, that will change. No white lights. Good. So we should be able to turn off our external power now and not have the plane shut down on us. Because the APU is now filling that role for us. Right, emergency lights. Where are they? Where are they? Arm. Perfect. No smoking. Still makes me laugh that no smoking is still a switch. Nice. Okay. So as you can see, the nav is nowhere near being ready. That's because the navigation system is still aligning itself. Which is fine. So while we're waiting for all of that, get into here. Okay, we will go to the AOC menu and the weight and balance screen. And we will go for 174 passengers in total. And start boarding. Go. They're starting to filter their way on, which is good. Alright. Let's get that. We'll go to our init page. Get our flight data from SimBrief. There you go. Brisbane, Sydney. So that's good. And there is our flight plan. So we are going to take off today on runway 19 right. And we're going to use the WACKO 3 SID. Not sure what that stands for. And then as we come into Sydney, we're going to arrive on runway 16 right, and we will use the BOREE 3 upper arrival. There's no vias, it's fine, we'll insert that. Now, there's some discontinuities here in the flight plan. So not one on the way into Sydney. So when our nav finally comes to life, we'll check that out. We will check that out. So let's put in our flaps 1. Which now means the plane can calculate its various takeoff speeds. What is our transition going to be? Let's have a look at the chart, which unfortunately you can't see. Looks like transition is... looks like it's 10,000. Okay, that makes life easy. Looking at the charts, as we come out of the runway, we've got to stay under 5,000 by the waypoint. Let me show you. Probably easiest. Togin, we need to be... oh, above 5,000, that's interesting. So 5,000, then 10,000. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put 5,000 in the window. And then we'll go from there. Right, let's check. 1019. So that's set, that's good. Ah, the nav's come to life. Happy days. Right, so let's go into plan. Zoom ourselves out. And we'll try and see what this discontinuity looks like in the flight plan. So we're going up to here, bump, bump, and then to WACKO. So if we clear that, and zoom out and try and see where it's trying to get us. So it's trying to get us down here. If we clear that, it should make us a nice little loop. There you go. Perfect. So we head south, southwest-ish, down towards Sydney. Oh, hello, what's all this? What is all this? No. Alright, let's go by it step by step. BOREE. So there is where we're looking at in the middle. Then to TSAT. Yeah, we don't want to go to TSAT, do we? Let's get rid of TSAT. So BOREE to BOREE, which obviously we don't want to go to BOREE twice. Just the once. It's quite enough, thank you very much. Which one do we get rid of? Let's go with the top. Right, there we go. BOREE. Down to Vazra. Down to Dala. Dumop. Boff straight in. On runway 16 right. Hey, good morning, Bev, Beve. I'm never sure how to say it. My apologies. Steve, how you doing? Where is everybody? That's a good question. That is a good question. So we're just getting fired up, and we're going to make our way down to Sydney shortly. So the flight plan's all done. That's good. That is good. Shouldn't take too long once we get going. What I do need to do is set my flight recorder going though. And Simbri. We should hopefully get ourselves a little map. There we go, magic. Okay, how are we looking with the so about almost halfway there. Gonna be a nice quiet flight. Yeah, could be. Could be. So one thing that annoys me about this is that it takes so long. Which I guess is realistic, don't get me wrong, but you know. Okay. That else is looking pretty good. Go into our perf page a minute. Do flaps 1 / my checklist is saying I should put in UP 0.1. Let's see if it will take that. Ah, look at that. V1, VR, V2 disagree. That's interesting. Maybe it's because we're still loading. Potentially that. Maybe I should wait till we're fully loaded. How are we getting on with that, by the way? Not long. It's moments like this I wish there was a button where I could be like load instantly instead of having to wait for it to all trickle in, but that's okay. We'll be patient in the name of realism, won't we? Haven't done a lot of flying in Australia on this. I'm kind of looking forward to this flight. As for the runway, whoop, where are we going to go? So we're going to push back sort of around here, and we'll make our way down to the taxiway. We're actually going to go around the back here to runway 19 right. As opposed to 19 left, which is this one here. In the future that button might exist. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether it could be done through here. Yeah, there's nothing really here to do it, is there? Never mind. Baggage, fuel, external power. So if I press catering, will that get us? Oh, sweet. I didn't know that. Alright, and baggage. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I didn't know that would work. Although, not quite sure about that. Yeah, that's not good. So what's it going to look like from the cockpit? Great. Brilliant. Thanks, guys. I need to get that GSX Pro thing. That is an interesting choice of the side to put the jetway on. That really is. There goes the baggage. Alright, that's quite cool. I'll concede that. That is quite cool. Although we do have the jetway cutting through into our cockpit. Oh man. Incredible scenes. You're not going to crash into my wing, are you, truck? Of course you are. Thanks for that. Is that baggage done? It must be. Remarkable. Okay, let's shut the baggage door. What is it doing? What is it doing? This is probably the worst ground crew experience I've ever had on this game. I don't know what it's doing. Alright, how are the passengers getting on? Almost there, thank goodness. Just waiting for that first row to get in, the front rows. 10 more to go. Then... yeah, I don't know what's going on with this baggage crew anymore. And the main thing is we need to get that door shut somehow. Shut the door. There it goes. Did it on its own. Come on, shut the door, we need to get going. We've got viewers waiting here. We got live weather on. Feels like no, we haven't, have we? There it is. Okie dokie. Right. Passengers are on. Let's get rid of this jetway out of our plane. Flip it back. Why didn't you go the other side? If ever there was an advert for needing GSX, this was probably it. Okay, right. I vote we get pushed back and get gone, because I think... let's get the tug. Now then, tug, you're not going to damage us, are you? Albeit you might damage the jetway. I mean, this speaking as somebody that's got a background in software development, this stuff isn't easy, but it's not a good look, is it? I empathise with the developers enormously, but ground crew is above it. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Right, parking brake off. Now then, let's see if we can ask it to take us back. We want to be going that way, so which button do I have to press? Is it going to be that way? Yes! It's definitely more luck than judgment, I assure you. Think about there is good, and we will say thanks very much to the tug. Parking brake on, and we'll send the tug on its way. Good. We are getting there. We are getting there. Right, let's go to our perf page. 1/UP0.1. Yeah, see now we're heavier. Now the boarding's finished, look, these values are significantly higher, which is fine. V1, VR, V2 disagree. Literally just put them in. Right. Parking brake is on, engines are off. So let's check our altimeter set to local. Yes it is. Flight director button is on. Speed is dashed, heading's dashed. Altitude, we're going to put 5,000 in the window. Thrust levers are idle. TCAS. Oops, wrong one. Alright, I think it's time to get our engine started. Let's get our beacon light on. And seatbelts on. Good. Let's get those to ignition and start. Start engine number 2. Number 1. Everything's coming to life nicely. I like it. Go. Beautiful. Everything's looking good. Nice. Right, so, whoops. We should be able to turn off the APU at this point. First of all, put that back to normal. And we'll do our APU bleed off and APU master off. Get our auto brake set to max in case we come into a problem during takeoff or anything like that. And flaps set to 1. Spoilers, arm. Rudder trim is 0. Okay. Strobes, auto. Nose lights. Taxi. And we'll do runway turn-offs on. Right. I say we get gone. So let's do the parking brake off. And let's mosey on down to the runway, shall we? I'm hoping this goes better than the last time I tried to do a cold and dark in Vegas. Because we fell through the taxiway. That was not enjoyable. So we're going to go to the left here. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm hoping that too. That was so annoying. We spent like half an hour getting the plane all set up, like sorted out the route, and just all of a sudden, boff, straight through the tarmac. And it's like, oh, we appear to be stuck. All good fun. There's our terminal, where we came from. Hopefully I'm still roughly straight. Yes, I am. And we're all fueled. Like 5,000 kilos, almost 6,000 in fact, on board of us today. We're going to get past the terminal and then do a left turn. It should be coming up any minute. We've got C2, then we've got C1 next. We got this little island of grass, then we do our turn. Here we go, this is us. Slow ourselves down a little bit for the turn. And a right and a left. Really, I suppose I could have carried on just to one more. This is us. You forget how big these airports are. You really do. So once we get across here, we're going to take the first right, and we'll follow that all the way down. Which I don't think is this. That one's not for us. This next one, however, is. I'm never sure whether cold and darks are a good thing for the stream. I feel like it means it takes a long time to get going, and I'm never sure whether people actually want that. Whether they just want sort of the take off instantly and get gone. I mean, I did a poll a little while ago asking that exact question, and like 70-80% of people were like, yeah, we want the cold and dark. I feel like I need to rerun that poll because it's quite a small sample size. There we go. Just trying to think what I would do if I tuned into a stream that was sat at the gate, getting the plane set up. Would I watch it or would I jump off? Okay, you think that's the best? Yeah, I probably would watch it too, but then I think maybe I'm just a bit of a nerd and maybe the more broader audience perhaps wouldn't like it. So we've got a bit of a hill going on here. Oh yeah, thanks. Oh, I should have titled that like the 1000 sub celebration stream or something, shouldn't I, today? I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that was nuts, getting to 1000. I couldn't believe it. Actually couldn't believe it. Got a bit of wind going on today, haven't we? Got that windsock. Yeah, massive thanks to everyone that made that 1000 subs possible. That was amazing. And the weird thing is that I scheduled the video that got me over that 1000 mark, and I forgot that I scheduled it, and I forgot to check, and then like I came back to way more than 1000. I was like, whoa, what's happened here? Because that video kind of blew up. Very cool. Very grateful indeed. Just got to get the watch hours up, then I can potentially get the channel monetized. Maybe try and claw back some of the money for the power bill. Because it ain't cheap. Not now anyway, not here in the UK. Oof. Alright, let's just hold short here for a minute before we go out there. Let's test our takeoff config. Red WS off. Is that WS off? Any ideas, anybody? Oh, it's the weather, isn't it? It's the weather. Where do I go for that? Has that done it? That door. Predicted wind shear, isn't it? Where is it? Where'd you turn it off? I've had this before. I can't remember what I did. Predicted wind shear. There we go. Nice. Right. Let's get ourselves lined up. Let's get going, otherwise we won't get to Sydney in time because I have to go at a certain point today. Be a responsible adult and not sit here flying pretend airplanes on my computer. go. Right, eyes down for a full house. I think we'll do a rolling start, shall we? We're all lined up. We're all configured for takeoff. So let's go. I'm going to manage that wind with the rudder pedals a little bit because that is starting to push us around quite a lot. You can feel the weight in the plane as well. Okay, let's start rotating. Right, positive rate, gear up. Right, let's get autopilot on the go. We'll set our speed to 210. TCAS standby. Nice. There we go. Fly it over Brisbane, have a look, shall we? Oh, okay, that's a cool view. Well done, Brisbane. Well done. Well done, well done. Okay, let's have a look at our waypoints. So we'll go for 240 knots for this next waypoint. And it wants to set above 5,000, so I think at that point we'll set ourselves to go to 10. Because if we're allowed, we're basically on that waypoint, and if we're allowed to be above 5,000, let's start our climb to 10. This is not going to be long. 17 miles, and it wants us at 10,000. Okay, let's get our maps in. to have you back. Anytime anyone types that in the chat, I always read it in my head like Arnie off the Terminator. Don't know why. Oh, look at that. That is a pretty view. So you can see our little loop-the-loop coming up here. So what's this waypoint? We can be above 10,000 and it wants us at 250. I think we'll stick to 10 until we're past it. Just increase the speed a touch. I can probably do that manage and it will select 250 for itself. Yes, it has. Look, we've got the pink diamond. Then where are we cruising? 360. Easy peasy. Alright, there's 10,000, so we've got our speed limiter sorted. Oh, nice. Set this to standard. Set our cruise altitude to 360. Oh look, because we've gone to standard, it's just dropped us below 10,000, so now the plane thinks it has to go at 250 again. And now it's going to speed up again. There it goes. Buffalo Boots Hill says Hunter Wellies. Okay. Look out, the plane's got me confused. Don't know why it's done that. I thought it was odd we were flying, doing a turn in the wrong direction. I wonder why it did that. Because it had a perfectly planned out route and a flight track there. There's just no baby crying. Oh, you know what? I always used to really hate having babies on board. Until we had our own, and then it was like, I just feel such a sense of empathy for the parents. It's like, oh no, like you poor people not having to deal with that. Okay. So I've given it a route to Saneg, and it should sort itself out. Okay, so I'm hoping the plane's going to level any second. On. Come on. This is your cue. There he goes. I don't know why it broke its flight route then. That was very strange. I think maybe it's just a bug with the fly-by-wire plane. You sometimes get it. It's going to work to get itself back on track. How are we looking in terms of weather when we get down to Sydney? Ooh! Look, got some wind. I wasn't anticipating doing a crosswind landing for you today, but that may be the case. Because I'm really bad at them. Right. I put a little poll up. Let's see who prefers the cold and darks and who doesn't. Oops. That'll be Brisbane again. That's where we took off from, isn't it? Where's the airport down there? Because we saw that coming out. Right, I think now the plane is stable. So we've got 15 miles to the next waypoint. I'm going to make sure it gets there, and I'm going to make sure that we get put onto the next one. And if it all behaves, I'm going to go make a cup of coffee, and I will be back. So it only takes 54 minutes down to Sydney. I thought it'd be longer than that. Oh, what's happened to my viewer count? Everyone's left. Almost instantly. I wonder if they were bots. I got a funny feeling Buffalo Boots Heel was a bot trying to promote Hunter Wellies to us. Just an inkling. Just an inkling. I'm surprised we haven't had the crypto bots come in to see us. Here we go. So I think the map is fundamentally wrong. Yeah, that map is just all sorts of wrong, isn't it? If we look at our plan, we're going to go, this is us, coming down to Hugo. We go Hugo, apogee, dun 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 dun, straight in. So I'm fairly confident that the plane is looking after itself now, so that's good, after that minor bit of weirdness. Whoa, look at our crab! It's got 100 mile an hour crosswind. Or headwind. That is some serious weather in Australia today. See, look, the plane wants to go higher, but it can't in that headwind while maintaining a climb. That is a serious wind, isn't it? Oh, I'm getting nervous now for the landing. We have to try and do a crosswind landing in front of you all and probably mess it up. So I think what's going to happen, if you look at the little tiny map that you can see on the stream, we are maybe going to intercept it. Maybe. So we've got 4 miles to Hugo. Let's just see that it gets onto Apogee. I'd love to know how these get their names as well. I mean, I guess it's after kind of like local things, places, terms of expression, maybe. So another 1,000 feet. I'm going to drop that rate of descent because we're struggling with our speed here. Look at that. Wind is not doing us any favours. Luckily we're going to level off in a moment. There we go. Okay, so we should see our speed start to creep up a bit now, I hope. Gradually. Gradually. Yeah. Right, I'm going to make a coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back with coffee. What have I missed? Hey, Nick's here. How you doing, Nick? What did you miss, Nick? Well, the plane took itself in the wrong direction once we took off from Brisbane, but other than that, we've got a very, very serious headwind. Look at that. I think this is the windiest conditions I've ever flown in. Okay, so we've got 315 miles to go. We've got to be 8,000 by Vasra. So how far is Vasra? These non-QWERTY keyboards really confuse me. 272 to Vasra, we need to be at 8,000. Alright, let's get the calculator out. 36,000 down to... what was it? 8,000 at Vasra. At... oops, hit the wrong button. 87 nautical miles to slow down. That over here. Cool. How's things, Nick? You okay? Okay, good. Glad to hear it. Check on our fuel, given we've got such an aggressive wind. So we started with 5745 and we're down to 3860. Okay. We will keep an eye on that. We will keep an eye on that. Let's go to fuel. I think so, Nick, yeah. I think so. You can take credit for this one. Although I was not expecting such a windy situation. Tempted for the next flight to do the same flight but in reverse in the 737. Are these sort of winds like normal? Have I just caught it on a really bad day? Like I say, I've never really done much flying in Australia at all, except for like the Sydney landing challenge that comes with the game. Because these are some really aggressive winds. They're not normal. I wonder why it's doing it. And I've got live weather on. Calm winds. Huh. So is this accurate to what the weather is right now in Australia, I wonder? Or is the sim just like bugging out on me? Because what I did, you'll notice the time, I rolled it back a little bit so we went only by like 4 or 5 hours compared to real time, just so we're not flying in the dark. Oh, it's bugging. Okay, fine. Well, that makes me feel slightly better about turning it off. I see the plane wobble when we turn it off, shall we? Whoa! There we go. Yeah, we know. Quiet. That's more like it. Why did it do that, I wonder? It's a strange thing for it to have done, isn't it? Australia's vast, isn't it? You look at it like this. It's like, whoa. I'd love to go there someday. Though I will admit the spiders do put me off. If I'm being 100% honest with you. That is a genuine, like, ugh, the spiders. I'm not sure I could cope with those. It's bad enough here in the UK at the moment, like all the spiders that have been living outdoors. Now we're getting to the autumn and it's starting to cool down. They're all deciding to come indoors. It's like the worst, I hate it. So you just sat there watching TV and like one will just like parade across the front room floor and it's like, ah, no, like get it away from me. The snakes I could deal with. I don't mind snakes. Obviously I wouldn't get too close to one, but if like I saw one in the garden I'd just be like, oh, leave it alone. Except for the ones that got the funnel webs. I hear they're quite the character, aren't they? The funnel webs. How are we looking? Good. Well, I feel a little bit more justified about turning off that weather, because part of me wanted to turn it off anyway, just so it wouldn't be too hard to land, but that did seem a bit weird that it was doing 110 mile an hour headwinds. That was weird. Oh, look at that. Redbacks are the ones you worry about because they're everywhere. I'm going to Google it. Oh, they look like Black Widows, but I'm guessing they're different. Highly venomous spider. Ugh. Oh no. You can fly to New York with Air New Zealand. Nice. Is that direct? If that's direct, is that in like an A350 or a 787? It's a long time, isn't it? 18 hours. Any which way you slice it, that is a long time. I think my longest flight was Heathrow to Vegas. 10 hours and 45 minutes, I think that was. And it wasn't too bad. I was kind of a bit unsure as to how I would find it, having never flown that long before. But they're kind of smart the way they do it, as in the airline. Because you kind of get on the plane, they do the whole thing where they give you like a warm flannel and you sort of mess around with that for a minute. Then you taxi, take off. And that in itself is a bit of an event, so it's cool to watch that. Then once you get to kind of the cruise, it starts to get a bit like, oh, what do we do now? But then they'll bring you around a snack, and then half an hour later they'll offer you a drink. Then half an hour later they'll offer you another snack, then it's another drink, then it's a meal, then it's a film, then it's a, you know. They break it up. They're quite strategic, I think, about breaking it up in that way. Been bitten by a redback? No way. Is that like a hospital job if you get bitten by one of those? Wow, I'm just reading on Wikipedia. That sounds crazy. I'm glad you're okay. So we're not long actually until we're going to start descending. We're 173 miles to Basra, which is where we need to be at 8,000 feet. And let's have a look. According to this now the headwind's gone, and we've gone a bit faster, We need 103 miles to descend. So I'm going to err on the side of caution and probably go for about 107 or 8, maybe 110. And we're only 169 away. So 60 miles, we're going to start our descent into Sydney. Now, that's still long enough, Nick. You know, that's still a long time. Okay, not long. 146 miles to run until Vasra. Now if we check our flight plan, Vasra, where are you? There you are. 8,000 feet we need to be at Vasra, or above 8,000 feet. Now, we've got 10 miles to drop 3,500 feet Dalla. Then 7 miles to get down to 3,000 at Dumop. Then we stay at 3,000. I don't know why it wants us at flight level 360 there, that's clearly a bug. Suffice to say, we will not be climbing to 360. We'll stay at 3,000 and catch the glide slope. It wants us at 150. And then we will come on down into the runway. Runway 16 right into Sydney. Right, it wants destination data now. So let's give it that. So we'll go into our perf page. Go next, next. There we go. Right, QNH at Sydney is 1021. Temperature on the ground is 18. The wind... Well, we're not sure on the wind now, are we? Because... changed it. We'll do 30 and 15. Nice. That'll do us. That'll do nicely. We're really not far now. 129 miles to go. So how long did it take after that redback bit you to recover? I mean, look at just my brief looking at Wikipedia. That looks like that is a serious spider. Like neurotoxin kind of level, like bad stuff. Not just like, ow, that hurt. As in, ow, that really is quite dangerous. Okay. It's still saying 103 miles to descend at 2,000 feet per minute. We're coming up on 120. About 3 days. So did you have to have like anti-venom, stuff like that? Or was it just sleep it off? Surely you can't sleep off something like that. 4 captains to fly to New York. Yeah, I suppose they have to double crew it, don't they? That would make sense. I always wonder what it must be like as a long-haul pilot. Because you kind of think that as a short-haul pilot, your day is actually quite varied. Because you've got lots of takeoffs, lots of landings, relatively short flights, so you're never actually sat for too long in a cruise. Whereas you think if you've got to do like a 16-hour flight, that is a long time. And I know you've got to monitor things and make sure everything's safe, but that is a long time. A long, long time. Right, so we're starting our descent. We're going to go down to 8,000. At 2,000 feet per minute, so you can see the plane is just achieving that for us, which is cool. So I'm just checking in what our transition is for Sydney. Apparently you did get given anti-venom. Yeah, I should hope so, man, if you got bitten by a spider. Oof. A spider like that. Looks like 10,000's a transition unless I'm misreading it. So we'll go with that. So is it quite a common occurrence then? It must be in Australia if you've got that many spiders and things around. There must be a lot of people that get bit. Especially, like you say, about those redbacks. I was just reading on Wikipedia, they were saying one of the main problems is that they really like habitats that we live in as well. Therefore you run into them loads. Must be tough on the hospitals, if that is the case. How are we looking? How are we looking? 26,000. Nice. 73 miles to go. Everything's looking good. It's all coming up Millhouse. Into your garage to get something out of the freezer. Oh right, it's just lurking in there. Yeah, you see, you're not encouraging me to go to Australia telling me this stuff. If anything, I'm like, oh no, maybe I don't want to go. I do have an unreasonably large fear of spiders though, so that's probably... I'm probably a lot different to others in that sense. So snakes, I'm not worried about the snakes. Don't mind a snake. Not that, you know, if I saw one I'd be like, oh look, a snake, and go and pick it up, but, you know, they just don't bother me in that same way. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know whether maybe they should bother me. They probably should, given... Go to Tassie. The spiders are all dead there. Really? Alright, let's Google Tassie. Oh, Tasmania. Is that what you mean? What, seriously, there's just none there? There must be some, surely. I just looked on Google, on TripAdvisor. Someone was saying, I'm really scared of spiders, but I want to go hiking in Tasmania, what should I do? One of the comments is, oh, don't worry about the spiders, they've got one of the world's most venomous snakes in Tasmania, that's your worry. The spiders are the least of your worries. Have a great holiday. Cheers. That was quite funny. Alright, let's check in. How are we looking? 19,000 feet. And dropping. 50 miles to go to Basra, sorry. Need to be at 8,000. Thanks, by the way, to everyone that's liked and subscribed. I see you. Massively appreciate it, so thank you. It really helps the channel. So we got our transition at 10,000. And then we'll work our way on in and down to Sydney. How far are we actually from Sydney? It's 79 miles. Not bad. That'll be a quarry then. One thing we are going to need to think about, actually, is getting our speed down to 250. I'd sooner do that now. And we're probably going to need some speed brakes to do it. What is it they say? Once bitten, twice shy. I love the sound that they make on these speed brakes. Very, very close to the real thing. Speed is gradually dropping. We're just coming up on 270 because we will need to be at 250 for 10,000 in any case. We'll definitely need it by 8. Definitely. Got another 34 miles to run until we're at our waypoint where we need to be at 8,000. Should be fine, because we're at 13,000 feet. Speed is dropping. About 265 now. Continuing to drop. Spider in Australia is the whitetail. It's not nearly as venomous, but it hides in cloves. Well, that's it. I'm never going. Case closed. Oh, can you imagine that? I'm not sure I'd ever recover if that happened to me. I'd never be the same again. Hey, we're up to 7 likes. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you. How are we doing on the poll as well? 8 votes, 88% in favour of cold and dark starts. Okay. That's me told. Right, we're at 10,000 feet. So let's get some lights on the go, shall we? Probably about that time. Set our altimeter to local, what was it, 1021? Yes, it was. Okay, nose lights. Landing lights. Wait, turn off. Strobe set to auto. Happy days. So we're at 250. We're just about to hit 8,000. We're doing so a little bit ahead of schedule as well, which is fine by me. But they don't want us any lower than that for now. So they want us above 8,000. What's this next one? Okay, so above 4, lower than 5, hence it split the difference of 4.5. This one is exactly at 3. I say we go to 4 for the next one. This is a very scenic approach into Sydney, isn't it, from Brisbane? Look at that. Look at that. I mean, I know it's only a game, but flipping heck. They did a good job, didn't they? Okay, so by the time we get to Erden, which is our kind of final waypoint really, before we come on to final, we need to be at 185 knots, or a maximum of 185. So we're 45 miles out. Start nibbling away at that speed. Let's go 225. Maybe even 220. Let's stick at 225. Better to lose the speed now while we're level. Oh, hey Sean. Thanks, appreciate it. You just started the game, eh? Just starting out. That's a fun time. A little overwhelming, but nevertheless, very fun time. What are you flying? Have you got a favourite plane yet? That's kind of what happened to me. I kind of fell straight into the A320. And now the PMDG have released the 737. It's just so difficult moving from the A320, having gotten so used to it. The A320 is almost like a favourite t-shirt at this point. Because anything else just doesn't feel quite right. Which is bad, really. Kind of de-skilled myself, which I don't like at all, but... Lucky for me, I don't mind making a fool of myself on stream, so I'll probably fly the 737 next stream, and complete mess of it, but that's fine. That's how you learn. Oh, you just got it on the Xbox. Nice. Nice. It's awesome that the Xbox can do it. I love that. I love that it's not restricted to just PC. So you're flying on controller? I'm not sure what the deal is with joysticks on the Xbox. I think it will take them. I'm never quite sure. Let's go down to 4,000. We'll set it at 2,000 feet per minute. Let's activate approach phase. I'm going to leave the speed where it is. Oh, you bought a Thrustmaster stick. Nice. What, the Airbus one? The blue one? Yeah, that's exactly what I use, Sean. Brilliant stick. Really nice place to start, gives you everything you need. Like if you want to add the throttle quadrant later, you can. Well, I'm not sure if you can on an Xbox, but I assume you probably can. But really, you've got the rudder control within the stick, you've got the throttle control. Yeah, really, really nice stick, that. I just want to make sure we get down to 5,000 before I start dropping us back in speed, because we need to be at 5,000 for this waypoint, because we also need to drop to 138 knots. I did look at the Thrustmaster Boeing, but yeah, that's a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, let's get our landing system on. Yeah, that Boeing yoke would be lovely, but I can't justify. I just cannot justify that level of money. At this stage. Yeah, good choice, Sean. Like, the controller is so difficult. Genuinely quite impressed at anyone that can do it. Okay. Yeah, no ATC today. We're running on a flight plan from Simbrief, so... kind of negates the need for it. I mean, I suppose I could put it on. Okay, final stage of flap should also retract speed brakes. Yes, it has. What runway? We are going on to... is it 16 right? Yeah, 16 right.
2,500.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
2,500.
It's going to keep saying that, isn't it? Until we get past that bit where we're bobbing around 2,500 feet. despite the fact it says we're at 3,000.
2,500.
Right. Can we see a runway?
2,500.
Hasn't rendered in yet. So we got a little tiny crosswind. 2 knots. So I'm just looking for this diamond to start making its way down. Come in line with this yellow bar. And we've intercepted the glide slope. So at the moment, with the diamond being above the yellow bar, the glide slope is above us. As we get nearer to it and intercept it, it will start coming down. So that actually worked out quite well, because we've actually got quite a little while sat here at 3,000. So we had plenty of time to lose any of that speed. Have you heard of the freeware A330? Is that the headwind one? If that is what you mean, then yes, I have. And I've flown it on the channel a couple of times. It's very good. It's basically this plane that we're in now, just skinned as an A330, I believe. But nevertheless, very glad to have it. Let's get approach mode armed. Feels like we've been at 3,000 feet for a long time. As in, that's quite a long time to be this low. But looking at the chart, that is what they would have you do. So, nice view. Got this side, or that side. Let's go with that side. Okay. Paper plane. You love that paper plane, don't you? Here we go. So we're just about to intercept the glide slope. Let's get our gear down. Comes. There we go.
2,500.
Should hopefully be the last time we hear that today.
2,500.
Maybe not.
2,500.
Alright. Chill out. So, we're on the glide slope, and we're in line with the runway. We're at our speed. Gear is down. Auto brakes, medium. Speed brakes armed. And we're all set. And we are heading for that little runway just there. Yeah, it gets a bit much, doesn't it? All the 2,500 callouts. Alright, let's get autopilot off. Now the fun starts. Legend says. Okay, so about 50 feet, I'm going to bring the throttles back to idle. 30, maybe 20-ish feet. Probably more nearer 30 than 20. I'm going to flare the aircraft. And we'll see if we can get a nice buttery landing. Just really trying not to overcook anything at this point, because it's so tempting to. Like, the temptation to like go a little bit too much in one direction, either up or down, left or right, is so strong, I find, at this point in the flight. Just you want to tiny little movements, and you just kind of got to wait for it to catch up rather than over-egging it. And I'm as guilty as anyone for doing that, so I've even done it while saying this exact thing on stream before, so I get it. Touch low. Just going to apply a little bit of back pressure. Slow that rate of descent.
500.
And again, rather than catch that glide slope, as in actively try and catch it back up, I'm just going to wait for the plane
400
to find itself. There we are. Look. Now we're back on it.
100 above. Minimum.
Go. 100. 50.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Oh, that's a bit late. We are, however, down. That was a bit on the late side, that, but I really wanted that butter landing, which I'm not even sure I fully got, but not one for the Hall of Fame, but we're down. Let's see if we can find somewhere to park. Yeah, 2,500. Yeah, I definitely floated that one a little bit. It's weird as well because like we had 2 reds, 2 whites, and then it just slipped away from us at the last minute. Maybe I should have nosed it down a little bit more. How'd you get the iPad console? No, it's not a paid add-on. What we're in now is a completely different aircraft to the one that you have on the Xbox. So this is an add-on, like the plane is a whole thing from fly-by-wire. It's called the A320neo, but I don't think you can get it on the Xbox, sadly. I think they had issues with the store on the Xbox. Let's get across this runway. Slightly kicking myself about that landing, not gonna lie. I had no reason to get that wrong. Conditions were perfect. We had no wind. Hey ho. Up here at park, shall we? I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was safe. It was legal. It's just like, that was a little bit late for my liking. But I think that's what keeps you coming back, isn't it? If they were all easy and if they were all perfect, it would very, very quickly lose its appeal as a challenge. Rewind and we do. I don't think so. I kind of like to kind of accept that it is what it is and try and do better for the next one. Try and learn from it. I'll rewatch the replay. But yeah, one of those where I do find in general that is my style. In that I kind of come in and just float that little bit too long on the landing. But you know, that's okay. We'll learn from it. We learn from it, we move on. It wasn't a terrible landing. Just wasn't quite... It wasn't as good as I know I'm capable of. That's what it is. That's why I'm kicking myself. Because I know I could do better. I know I have done better. That's what it is. I mean, I'm my own worst critic with stuff like that. So it's, yeah, a tricky one. Right. Anyway, welcome to Sydney. The next stream. When is the next stream going to be? Honestly not sure when the next stream's going to be. Definitely tomorrow morning, I think. For me. So exactly the same time as today's stream. So we're looking at about 9:30 start UK time. I'm not sure where we'll go. Maybe we could fly back to Brisbane in a 737. Could potentially do that. Be a good chance for me to practice the 737, though I should warn you I'm very terrible at it. I'm not good in the 737 yet, but it'll be a good chance to learn something and try something new. So that could be cool. I was thinking it's possible we might be able to do one tonight, but I think probably not. So we'll probably have to stick with tomorrow morning. So with that, I shall bid you all a fond farewell. Thank you very much for joining me. Clear off. Thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. YMML. Where's YMML? Googling it. Melbourne. Of course, Melbourne. How far would that be? Similar sort of distance? Yeah, about an hour and a half, I think, is what Mr. Google says. Yeah. Yeah, we can maybe do that. That'd be quite cool. Especially starting from here, it will continue our tour. Our tour of Australia together. Yeah. That could be a good plan. Good call. Appreciate that. So, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all so much for the likes. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate every one of you, like genuinely. So thank you very, very much indeed. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow morning, my time, UK time, about 9:30. Same time as today, as we started. So I don't know what that is for you in your local region, but we'll do the same again tomorrow. And with that, I'm going to press this button to stop streaming. Thanks very much for being here, and take the very best care of yourselves, and I hope to see you tomorrow.